All right, our homework for tonight is a mixture of review that we've been doing this week. If you'll notice, the first 3 problems are GCF and the other 3 are LCM problems. So you really need to remember the difference between the two, but it doesn't change until step 5. So I'm going to do number 2 and number 5 with you all. Before I get started, I want us to list up at the top the numbers we should try. If you have nowhere else to go, if you don't know where to start, always start with these numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 13. So let's look at number 2. We have 64 and 80, and we're trying to find its GCF. Now, if you don't have enough room to work it right here, get a piece of notebook paper and work through it on that. So I'm going to put 64 and 80 in the slide. I noticed that both 64 and 80 are even, so they have a common factor of 2. But I could go even higher. 64 and 80, because I know my math facts, I know that 8 can go into 64 and 80. So even though it's not on the list, I can still use it because I know it is a factor. So I'm going to go ahead and put it right here. 64 divided by 8 is 8. And 80 divided by 8 is 10. A lot of you have gotten in the habit of just stopping right there, but I can't stop right here because I have even numbers. So I know I have to go even further. Because they're even, I know I can do, both have 2 as a common factor, so 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. 4 and 5 are back to back on the number line, so that's as far as I can go. I can't go any further. The only number that's going to come out of here that's a common factor of 4 and 5 is 1. And if I use 1, it's just going to leave me with 4 and 5 again, because 4 divided by 1 is 4 and 5 divided by 1 is 5. And so it's not going to change anything here. Because I'm working with GCF, I do not need all these numbers. I just need the side numbers where I draw the G. And I multiply those numbers together. So 8 times 2 is 16. So the GCF of 64 and 80 is 16. All right, number 5. I heard several of you had a question about number 5 when you were working on it today. So if you look at 4 and 5, we're trying to find the LCM of 4 and 5. We just talked about it up here. It's back to back on the number line. There's nothing that can go in it except for 1. So if I pull 1 out of it, I have 4 divided by 1 is 4, and 5 divided by 1 is 5. So nothing really changed, but we need to find the LCM. So I have to draw my whole L and multiply those together. 1 times 4 is 4, and 4 times 5 is 20. So my LCM here is 20. Notice that when finding the LCM, I use all these numbers, and when finding the GCF, I only use the side numbers. So you should be able to do those with the rest of these as well. Remember, these words right here are on that vocabulary list. You need to study those because we are going to have a quiz over those tomorrow.